Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scott and Jaime Show. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jaime.
And you were in Australia.
I was. Look at that.
The kangaroo on the shirt, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Velocity won a grant a couple of years ago, and as part of that grant, we were responsible for taking science teachers on these amazing exploratory trips.
Yeah.
And you picked Australia this time.
I did. It was so much fun.
So how was it relevant to the Scott and Jaime Show?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about what we can learn about ourselves when we travel, right? Very often we learn something new about ourselves because we're put in literally a foreign situation. And so in Australia, one of the things sort of we all noticed as a group was that Australians are incredibly fit as a generalization. Like there's a lot of what I like to call, or Eddie Izzard actually used to say, running, jumping, climbing kind of people.
Yes. I noticed
right?
that too when I was there a long time ago.
Yeah, so I mean, in the planes there were dozens of suitcases for bikes, and everybody was carrying a surfboard, and I mean, just really fit.
Right.
And so we did a lot of activities while we were there, and several of them were very physical activities, and there were weight limits, like you had to be under a certain weight.
And how'd you deal with that?
And you had to wear a jumpsuit
right.
and gear and stuff like that. And as you know, I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and so this would have been a really off-putting situation for me just a few years ago. And I did everything I did a ropes course, we climbed up a bridge, I held a crocodile.
So what were you thinking about your weight as you did these things?
It was what really brought to light is how much I had internalized this previous view of myself, right? Of I'm a fat person, I'm not athletic, I can't be athletic. And that's something for my brother, who's very, very fit and athletic.
Right.
And that's his terrain, and my terrain is more cerebral.
Okay, so you were the smart one, he was the athletic one.
Yeah.
And you can't be athletic and overweight.
Yeah.
That's what you believed.
Yeah. And you can't be you can't lose weight and be athletic.
Right.
Like even when you lose weight, you still don't have the athlete gene. But
see.
as it turns out, going through all of these experiences, I realized like I really need to begin redefining how I see myself, because in fact I was one of a couple of people that did all of the activities on the entire trip, that did not shy away from one of them because it was fun.
Yeah, and so you experimented, and then you learned, and then you grew.
Yeah.
Experiment, learn, and grow. It is amazing when you put yourself out there how that can happen.
Yeah. It was
And-
really fun.
And I think that's great. I believe the same thing about travel. Oftentimes people go on vacations, and when they get home they think, gosh, that vacation was so wonderful. If only my life every single day was like that. Well, you know what? It can be. The reason why vacations are so amazing, in my opinion, is that we sort of lower our standards of what we're willing to experiment with.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So you'll put yourself out there much more. You'll go to places you never would go to at home. You'll experiencing things you never would experience. Your threshold for what is acceptable or what is enough is so different when you're on vacation. Well, live like that when you're home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to have all these ridiculously high standards, which the only thing they prevent is happiness.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you do go into a new situation and you have experience, be willing to redefine who you are.
Absolutely.
Be willing to say, oh, I learned something new about myself, and now I can add that to who I am. And I am a person that can be athletic.
Yes, you can. And it took a trip down under.
Down under. Good day.
Good day. So, shrimp on the barbie. That's not how it sounds. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's the Scott and Jaime Show for this week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.